Hello, spiritual storytellers. Have you ever felt the fear of being judged? Worried about what other people might think about your creative work? Well, you're not alone. It's a common writer's block, one that I've grappled with myself. So today I want to share a true story about how I broke through this fear. Yeah, so welcome to my channel. Have you ever been haunted by the fear of judgment when writing or sharing your stories? It's something we've all felt. Today, I want to share a story from a recent nature walk I went on where I came across a woodpecker who gave me an insight and helped me turn this writer's block around. The writer's block is fear of being judged or fear of being seen, or it's also known as audience anxiety for public speakers. And it can really stop you in your tracks. Like it can really stop you from putting yourself out there and being creative. And I have grappled with this myself, like I said. And it has been a year since I first published my novel, Closer to Indigo. And I still get a little bit nervous when someone says, "Oh, I bought your book," or "I read your book." And the thing is, most people don't say anything about whether or not they've read it or if they've liked it or any comments about it. And it just leaves me to question, like, did they like it? Was it any good? But I don't want to ask, so I just let things go. But after a while, it does make me wonder, and I just wish people would be more honest. Like, if they didn't like it, like, why? Or if they did really like it, what did they like most? It would be great to know these things. Because instead, if they don't say anything, then I make up a story, right or wrong, and I feel like, well, I guess they didn't like it, and then I feel judged, and that really hurts because I really do want people to like what I do, my creative work and who I am, and it is important to me. But even so, um, as an artist and an introvert, I still put myself out there and I wrestle with what I like to call this occupational hazard of being a creative. You have to deal with people's feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. Yeah, it's tough sometimes. So often, as a way to manage my own insecurities and my own stress, I like to practice self-care. And so I do all kinds of things to just help myself just go through go through life. And one of the things I do is journal, and I've talked a little bit about that. But this time around, I was feeling particularly judged recently, and things got a little heavy for me. And so I decided to go and take a walk in nature. I live in a beautiful neighborhood, and it's got lots of tall trees and flowers and wildlife. So I like to go through my neighborhood and take pictures of things or listen to my songs on my playlist. And sometimes I say hi to the neighbors. So it's something that I like to do, and I just needed a change of scene, just a chance to clear my mind, and maybe I'd find some inspiration along the way. And so I grabbed my trusty little GoPro camera, and I didn't know what to expect, and I headed out into my neighborhood, and I thought, well, it's autumn, it's September, I'll take pictures of things that are bright colors. I found red leaves and orange leaves, and the sky was bright blue and all these things. So I was looking for bright colors. I was walking down this path, and I could, through my earbuds, I was like, there's some other sound going on. So I took my earbuds off and I was like, what's that sound? And I walked a little bit further down the path and I came across this woodpecker on the tree and it was tapping away. And I was like, wow, I heard him before I saw him. I heard the echo and I watched as he chipped away and wood was flying and he was having a grand old time. And I was like a little bit judgy. I was like, oh my gosh, is he hurting the tree? Like, is that okay? And and I was like, but he looks so dashing, he looks so sporty with his red, you know. So woodpeckers are very stylish. And so when I came home, I did some research and I thought, well, what is the purpose of a woodpecker in the forest? And sure enough, they do serve a purpose. What they do by pecking at the bark, they make little holes and they retrieve like little insects and their eggs and their larvae. So they sort of clean out the bark a little bit. And by doing that, it sort of perpetuates the cycle of life. And then those little holes that they make, or they take away the, the bark, they create little nests for other birds that don't make their own nests or their own shelters. So they create little spaces for birds like nuthatches and creepers and wrens and bluebirds and swallows and flycatchers and even small owls benefit from the woodpecker. So that's pretty cool. And then I thought, oh, coincidentally enough, with us spiritual storytellers, the woodpecker's telltale pecking sound and the holes they leave behind are also a form of communication. Yeah, they're communicating. And whether they're helping their neighbors or are staking out some territory or are calling in a mate, they're communicating something out there. And it's kind of like, if you really think about it, it's kind of like typing on a typewriter. Yeah, like exactly, right? Cool. So woodpeckers are also telling their own stories and they're spiritual storytellers. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I thought so. And I'm so grateful that I had my camera with me. And as I observed the woodpecker and took my video, I thought to myself, you know, woodpeckers don't care. They don't care what other people think or what other birds think or what everybody thinks. They don't care. They just keep going. They just keep doing their jobs. And whether they're understood or misunderstood or anywhere in between, they don't think about being judged. They just do what they do. They don't worry about leaving the holes behind in the trees and they don't worry about the sounds they make, that echo through the forest. They don't apologize for doing what they're doing. They're entirely focused on their own rhythm, their own purpose, and that's that. That's what they do. So that's my insight. I want to just share this story with you to help to remind you that when you're doing your creative work and you're in your rhythm and you're being authentic to yourself, then that's wonderful. Just keep doing that. Don't get caught up in worrying about what other people think. They've got their own thing going on. You have no idea like what they think. So don't make up a bad story about whether or not they like your work. Like it's just keep being true to you. If you'd like my coaching to help you catch your own insights and blast through your own writer's block and reframe things like fear of being judged, then check out my Rockstar Storyteller coaching program. It's in the description box below and also on my website at amaleitewellnesscoaching.com. So the next time you find yourself trapped in the fear of judgment and worried about what other people will think, especially about your creative work, remember our little woodpecker friend and just keep going and embrace your own rhythm and your own authentic voice and create what you like.